movie junkies, welcome back to Twin Flicks, where we always here celebrating the magic of movies and physical media with you. So I'm so excited because this month Arrow Video has unleashed onto the masses the greatest version of the King Arthur tale ever put to celluloid. That's right, we're talking about John Boorman's epic masterpiece, 1981's Excalibur. And back in 2011, Warner Brothers did release this Blu-ray, which honestly was a little bit of a disaster. It's pretty lackluster, and if you're a fan of the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Well, now in 2026, Arrow Video has once again put right with what once went wrong, giving Excalibur at long last the royal 4K treatment it highly deserves. With a fresh 4K restoration of the original 35mm negative, forming a native 4K DI with HDR10 and Dolby Vision grading. And 35mm prints were used for accurate color reference. Now, what also makes this 4K restoration so important to this film is that for the first time ever on home video, it is in its original intended theatrical ratio of 1:6:6:1. When previous home video releases were either framed at 1:7:8:1 or 1:8:5:1, such as this Blu-ray release. The 4K restoration was completed by Warner Brothers Motion Picture Imaging and approved by director John Boorman. Alright guys, let's take a closer look at Excalibur on 4K from Arrow Video against Warner Brothers 2011 Blu-ray, and also stay tuned after the review for a brief rundown of new bonus material exclusive to this Arrow Video release. I am just floored with this 4K restoration. It's a significant night and day upgrade against a 2011 Blu-ray, and really shows the true benefits of what a proper 4K scan can effectively do, bringing the film to a whole new level of detail, clarity, and tangibility, and also as close as possible to the filmmaker's vision and its theatrical appearance. This 4K restoration of the film now has its intended theatrical ratio of 1:6:6:1, and there's a specific reason why director John Boorman decided on this ratio. The 1:6:6 ratio reveals additional image information on the top and bottom of the frame that really enhances the compositions, particularly with those epic wide shots of battles, the forest, or just showing Camelot's grandeur. It's a really impressive use of the 1:6:6:1 ratio, where watching the film now literally feels as if you're watching it for the first time. Now, Excalibur's 2011 Blu-ray really amplified softness within colors, and some noise reduction artifacts that really overwhelmed the image that resulted in a muddy, flat, almost lifeless looking image. Now with the 4K scan, Excalibur has newfound life within colors and details. The colors are very striking with vibrancy and look bolder, and retains how the filmmaker's vision was. The 4K on the UHD disc takes full advantage of the HDR Dolby Vision grading, and the HDR Dolby Vision grading does its job at handling all the unique colors and stylized colors faithfully that really pop vibrantly now, such as the glowing emerald greens that are splashed over armor, faces, the Excalibur sword itself, the fiery oranges in the background, or even just fire from like torches and explosions lights up brilliantly with deeper orange-yellow flames. And the medieval fest inside Camelot burst with a lot of life and warmth with some really nice inviting tones under candlelight. It's just stunning against a 2011 Blu-ray that again was very underwhelming. One highlight here, especially with the UHD disc with the HDR Dolby Vision grading, is with the highlights. First off, highlights have no clipping. This 4K scan highlights are handled much better here, from the reflective gleam on Knight's silver armor that sparkles much more realistically, creating a sense of tangibility. Excalibur's blade catches light in a way that feels almost otherworldly. And these are just a couple examples of how the highlights are better used here on this 4K scan, especially on the UHD disc with the HDR Dolby Vision grading. Saturation levels also benefits here with this 4K without looking artificially applied or overtly hot, and does a terrific job of balancing out all the lifelike tones and the very stylized, unique color palette with elegance. And also illuminates a very nice, pleasant warmth across the image that renders skin tones accurately that now look naturally warm. Unlike the 2011 Blu-ray, where skin tones look almost lifeless with a more palish look. Now, the use of contrast here with Excalibur is important, and the 2011 Blu-ray was honestly a mess with the contrast. Well, I'm very happy to report here that the contrast levels on this 4K scan was given a lot of attention to with considerable care, where Excalibur has the perfect balance between light and dark without either element competing for screen space. And this also corrects the over-darkening that we saw in the 2011 Blu-ray. The 4K scan with the better use of contrast also yields accurate light levels that improves color timing. The UHD disc with the HDR Dolby Vision grading, the contrast curve amplifies the film's epic scale, making transitions from dark caves to bright outdoors feel much more seamless and also very immersive. It is significantly improved here. The 4K scan has very striking, truer looking black and improved depth with stronger shadows that eliminates the crushed out details and also those washed out blacks that plague the 2011 Blu-ray. And the improved black levels and shadow details really allows for finer details and textures and even some slight splashes of color to come through the darkness with visibility, even in the darkest corners, and there are many of them in this movie. The UHD disc with the HDR Dolby Vision grading enhances the black levels and shadows even further without losing any shadow detail. The 2011 Blu-ray had a lot of problems with the various night scenes that were completely washed out with bright or grayish looking blacks and shadows, and it really affected these scenes. The HDR Dolby Vision grading on the UHD disc, these night scenes now hold up exceptionally well and looking much more naturally authentic, and again avoiding that grayish haze of the 2011 Blu-ray, or for any previous home media release for that matter, which alone warrants an upgrade from the 2011 Blu-ray. Now, one of the most striking improvements here with this 4K scan is just the sheer level of sharpness clarity, where the 2011 Blu-ray often appeared overly soft and it really blurred textures and details, reducing depth. The 4K scan refines the softness without erasing it, delivering a very impressive sharpness and clarity to the film that reveals much more nuances that was previously lost on the 2011 Blu-ray, without the use of any AI sharpening or artificial smoothing done. The 4K scan delivers a striking amount of texture and detail pulled from the original negative with a very stable and refreshed looking imagery that really elevates the film with excellent tangibility, and again without the use of any digital enhancement or manipulative processing done. Now, the 2011 Blu-ray had a lot of problems with the grain that looked constantly muddy and clumpy, or even some frozen grain. The 4K scan avoids all of this and retains its natural finer layer of film grain throughout the film, providing properly cinematic texture into the film and reinforces the movie's original cinematic filmic appearance. Alright guys, now let's talk about the audio presentation of Excalibur. And Arrow Video includes two different audio tracks, and both have been struck from the original 35mm negative audio elements to create a grounded and cleaner and artifact-free presentation that was all over the audio presentation of the Blu-ray. The first is a mono mix, and the second is a remastered lossless DTS HD 5.1 mix. This is a very aggressive and very active 5.1 mix that plays a crucial role in evoking the brutality of the medieval warfare with very active front and rear channels, and also gracefully glides from the front channels to the rear channels with expert directional movement, giving a very impressive 360-degree immersive soundstage. The film's iconic score, composed by Trevor Jones, and all the classical pieces mixed into the score, sounds dramatic and operatic with excellent fidelity. Low-end frequency response is excellent with some nice deep bass Dialogue sounds clean and clear and is never overpowered by the film's score or the sound effects. Guys, Arrow Video's 4K UHD or the remastered Blu-ray that again is sourced from the same 4K scan is honestly a triumph in 4K restoration with significant improvements in both video and audio, marking this an immediate and must upgrade from your Blu-ray. This is a must add to your collection. But now do me a huge favor here because I want to hear your opinion. Jump over to the comments section and let me know. When you look at the differences here between the two formats, the 4K from Arrow Video and Warner Bros. 2011 Blu-ray, which do you like better? Or do you see much difference at all? Again, jump over to the comment section and let me know. Now, both the UHD disc here or the remastered Blu-ray edition does come with all new bonus material. And on the feature film disc, it includes a new 2026 audio commentary, The Cinema of John Boorman, from its author Brian Hoyle, which is a very fascinating commentary track. The second is a new commentary track by filmmaker David Kittredge. And on the second disc, which is a Blu-ray disc, we have a never before seen or released 50-minute documentary directed by filmmaker Neil Jordan. This was shot during the film's production, and it's definitely an interesting time capsule of how the film was shot. We also have a new 2026 interviews with director John Boorman and actor Charlie Boorman. And they go in depth of the production and also the relationship during the making of the film. And next up we have an interview with the production designer Anthony Pratt, and this is a great interview where he even gets emotional as he sits and goes through scenes of the film, and it's just really fun watching him marvel over how John Boorman managed to shoot his set designs. But I think the best and also longest interview is with John Boorman's second unit director, Peter McDonald, and he does not shy away from anything. He talks a lot about the working relationship he has with John Boorman and all the behind-the-scenes anecdotes and chaos he shares of how crazy John Boorman got. It's a fantastic interview. We also have a fantastic featurette called Life and Death of Illusion, and this is a visual essay where he goes through John Boorman's career and how he shot this film and other films, and it's narrated by film historians Howard S. Berger and Kevin Marr. And next up is a new 2026 featurette on the working friendship between John Boorman and co-writer Rospo Palinger. And it's a really interesting conversation. Well guys, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes here as we dive in and take a closer look at Excalibur 4K UHD set from Arrow Video and comparing it to this 2011 Blu-ray. Let's get that out of here. As always guys, keep physical media alive and stay tuned for more 4K versus Blu-ray comparisons, including Arrow Video's 4K release of Westworld compared to the Blu-ray. So stay tuned for that and many more.
Netflix presents 4K versus Blu-ray compare.